Hello, my name is Lachlan Parker from Lighthouse International. Welcome back to another module. Today we're looking at Chapter 10, Being Safe on Social Media. Just going through some general social media awareness tricks and tips and many other things. So, first thing is to be aware of social media. We're looking at the tips and tricks as an individual, tips and tricks as a business, and how to make sure you're always doing the right thing online. So, as an individual, it's always good to remember, no matter how displeased you are with your employer or your client, to never talk about them on Facebook on your personal page or any social media site. So, complaining about your boss, your work, all that sort of stuff can create a problem, especially if they see it or someone sends them the post, and could also create a big problem, which could be unemployment. The same thing goes if you're displeased with your spouse or your significant other, your partner. People on Facebook, on social media, don't need to know about this, so you don't need to post about it. Don't go sharing private things. In a sense, a bad reputation for yourself, especially if you keep complaining about your relationship. Don't put any details of illegal activities you've been involved in. This one should go without saying, but people do it. Breaking into a school or vandalizing something, taking selfies of yourself while you're driving, all that sort of stuff, where it's illegal for you to be on the phone while driving or going into property that isn't yours. All those sort of things should not be on your Facebook marketplace Facebook, because people do check it, especially businesses. So if they see you doing that sort of stuff, it's going to ruin your chances to get a job. Don't post that you're going away. This one's about posting if you're going away on a trip or a holiday. Don't give people details such as how long you're going for, all that sort of stuff, because it lets others know that your house is not being taken care of, there's no one home, which means you're probably more prone to being broken into if the wrong people get wind of this information. So it's always good to make sure that you either post about it afterwards or post saying, I'll be going on a trip soon, I'm excited for it, but you don't give an exact date or for how long. Never give your phone address or your phone number on social media as well. There are options such as on Facebook to put your phone number in, but I would generally suggest not to. Make sure you keep this information private. You don't really need to give out all this sort of information at all. Don't post anything, especially when you've said you're going somewhere and you told your people you'd be elsewhere, or you said you can't make something. There's a lot of times when people post themselves at things and they've told a friend or family or boss that they can't come into work today or they can't do this activity with them, and they've posted themselves doing something even though they've said they can't do it. So you should never be posting, especially when you're catching yourself out in a lie. Don't post that you've won big or you made a big purchase, that you've had a big win at the casino or the lottery, or, you've made a big car purchase or expensive house purchase, because some people might think that they're entitled to a handout, and it can cause issues, especially when you win money. People seem to come out of the woodworks and say, hey, you've won a lot of money, do you want to help with my business or with your niece or anything else like that? Don't post anything that compromises security of your home, such as photos around your house and different parts of your house, photos of your street address or your house number, or even if you have security system photos of that in the background. All that sort of stuff makes it easier for people to potentially come in and rob you. Make sure you're always checking photos of yourself, check if they're unflattering. You don't want to put anything like that online. Very hard to get rid of. Any details of your kids' activities and where they might be supervised. You can always be proud of your kids, especially when they start walking to school and stuff like that. But you don't want to be posting that, hey, my child's walking to school every morning, this is great, because someone knows where you live, or you start posting about the times and, they're walking every day. You're giving this person more information about your child, which is putting them at risk. So you want to make sure that you're not giving out information like this sort of stuff to people. You also want to be careful. You don't want to be posting about things that are hateful. Anything can be taken as discriminatory or aggressive, that sort of stuff. You don't want to be doing that sort of posting, because it can come back to bite you in the future. Never post your ID as well, or any of your personal items such as your bank card or anything else. It may sound silly, but there have been people online, especially on social media, that have posted those sort of things, and then found themselves in a world of trouble as people have been spending their money or using their identities. So it may sound silly, but people have done it. Don't go putting so many promotional posts on your Facebook as well. try to keep your Facebook and your work, your personal and your work profile separate, but you also don't need to post every day on your Facebook about what you're doing or what your business is doing, all that sort of stuff. It's a bit annoying for people, and you don't need to be promoting all the time. Emotionally charged posts, this comes back down to if something's happened and you're feeling a bit agitated by it or a bit upset by it, don't post at the time. Give yourself a bit of time to calm down, to think about it properly, and then post if you still feel like it. But emotionally charged posts cause a lot of issues, especially if you slip up and you say something you didn't mean to, or something else comes out and doesn't come out the right way. For some reason and thinks you're being aggressive or you've said something you shouldn't have, and it's caused a bit of an issue for yourself and your reputation. Make sure that you write your post properly, use the correct language, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you proofread it. Don't use information you're unsure of, especially if it's not even verified. You want to make sure that the stuff you're sharing on your Facebook is correct information, especially if people start calling you out and it's going to make you look very silly. Also, hashtags. We don't need to hashtag everything, so maybe calm down on that. But it obviously is taking trend, but overusing it is very annoying. So we need to make sure we're not overly using it. Obviously, when we put photos up on Facebook as well, we need to make sure we have permission from the people that it's okay to put up the photo, and we're doing everything we can to make sure the photo looks good and all that sort of stuff. Threats or threatening language. Again, we shouldn't be making threats to people, but if you're making threats to someone online, it could get you banned. It could also get you to lose your account. It could even get a visit from the police because threats are taken very seriously online now as well. And anything you shared with you in confidence should not be shared on your social media account, especially even if you don't include the name of the person. They're generally going to know it's about them, a story that they've told you in trust. So again, this is just a quick sum up that takes 5 seconds to think about the ramifications of what you do and what you post, especially going through all the content before, just going through and making sure that, hey, am I posting the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? I'm not doing it, out of spite, out of, in a compromising position to myself and others. Now, we're going to talk about the tips and tricks as a business, mainly being aware of the double standards. Saying that you support one thing but you're doing nothing towards it as a business can definitely cause an issue. You need to lead by example and make sure your posts are of things you're actually doing. Be positive and don't complain. So making sure your posts are always about the good things, even if you have some bad things going on. No one needs to know about it. Just continue to show the good things and what you're trying to do, and make sure people feel welcome and included. Screen jokes and memes around the workplace are very risky as well. Make sure that you don't go sharing things that could be taken wrongly. Especially jokes that you think aren't too bad, but then someone's like, "Oh, that's a bit racist," or "That's making me feel victimized." So things like that we need to be very careful of. Don't post political or religious rants as well. It is fine to have your own point of view, and your business could be based upon those sort of things, but it's always good to not always go on about it and not to basically shove it down people's throat. We would never, trash talk or shame or badmouth other people's viewpoints, so we don't need that sort of negative stuff on our social media as a business. Make sure your content is high quality before posting it. It's always good to make sure you have the best photos. It's been proofread. Everyone has made a consensus that this is great. Last one, the more your personal profile. Again, keep your personal and your business profile separate. I every so often would post about something I've done for work, but there may be like once or twice a month at the most. So I generally try to keep my work and personal profiles separate, but sometimes we do something, I've done something for my work that I will then post about on our business one, so I'll sometimes share that on my personal one as well. So how to make sure you're always doing the right thing. We have some of these do's and don'ts. Plenty of time for you to read this. I'll go through just a couple. So two-way communication between people is very important. Creating a plan for posting instead of just random posts as well. Bit of a timeline kind of sets you up for a nice, system to be in place. And with the don'ts, obviously, we don't need to add everyone we know on Facebook on our personal profiles. So if they're looking for business acquaintances, for example, maybe suggest they follow your business page, create a business page if you don't have one. there's other ways around this sort of stuff. And don't ignore negative comments. You need to address the people's concerns, criticism, feedback. Show that you are active and you're willing to listen to feedback, but also trying to fix the problem as well. So these are just a few of the tips that we have for the do's and don'ts. So again, this has been chapter 10 on social media. We hope that you've learned something today. And if you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us.